In the quiet of a spring evening, the back porch of a suburban home became the setting of a violent crime. Emily Grant, a local college student, was found lifeless by her roommate, her body bruised, her ring missing, and the surrounding scene full of unanswered questions. But science doesn't guess, it investigates. In this documentary, we'll use forensic science to peel back the layers of mystery and uncover the truth hidden in plain sight. From the first officer's arrival to lab analysis of trace evidence, from entomology to DNA, each piece builds the case. This is the forensic story behind the crime of Emily Grant. When officers arrived at the scene, protocol was everything. They followed what every forensic technician knows by heart, the 7 S's of crime scene investigation. Each step matters. Each action preserves the truth before it's lost forever. The first officer on scene immediately established a perimeter. Blue tape was stretched around the backyard. No one entered except authorized personnel. This wasn't just about protecting evidence, it was about preserving a timeline. Step 2. Separate the witnesses. 2 neighbors were awake at the time of the discovery. Officers separated them before interviews to prevent their stories from influencing each other. Accuracy is everything when building a timeline. Step 3. Scan the scene. Investigators did an initial walkthrough. They noted points of entry and exit. No broken glass, no forced doors. The sliding back door was unlocked and open, and the porch light had been turned off. A single cigarette smoldered in a flower pot. Something had happened here, and quickly. Step 4. See the scene. Photographs were taken from every angle. Close-ups, overview shots, and mid-range shots were all taken at the crime scene. Step 5. Sketch the scene. An evidence technician began drawing the layout of the porch, the distance between the back door and Emily's body, measurements of each piece of furniture, the cigarette's location, the position of the overturned flower pot, all marked and scaled. Step 6. Search for evidence. The search was methodical. Investigators divided the backyard and porch into zones. Each square foot was examined. The team of forensic experts bagged all the evidence and put them into their necessary places. The zone search pattern ensured that no evidence was left behind and nothing was overlooked. Step 7. Secure and collect the evidence. Each item was photographed, labeled, and sealed in paper or plastic bags depending on the type of evidence that it was. Everything was logged, signed, and added to the chain of custody, because one broken link could unravel the entire case. This wasn't just a checklist, it was a roadmap, and with every step, they moved closer and closer to the truth. Photography was crucial to this case, from the bruises on Emily's wrist to the red marks on her neck, and even a blue-gray fiber on her hoodie, and the half-smoked cigarette placed on the porch rail that happened to still be warm to the touch. Investigators documented a small scratch on the doorknob, which was possibly from the ring that was missing from her hand. A hair, long and auburn, was wedged beneath her fingernail. No signs of forced entry, no broken glass, no signs of struggle inside. This scene pointed to a confrontation outside, which was personal, deliberate, and somewhat violent based on the blood spatter on the railing. Because of this, an initial timeline was built. Emily came home from her shift at work at 8:45 p.m. A neighbor heard a brief argument around 9:15 p.m. By 10:30 p.m., the porch lights were off. When her roommate returned after midnight, she found her like this, dead and lying on the ground. Two kinds of trace evidence proved vital. Several long auburn hairs clutched in the victim's hand, blue-gray synthetic fibers on her shirt and collar. The hair was analyzed microscopically. Its medulla, pigment, pigment distribution, and cuticle scale pattern were compared to a known sample from a person of interest who just happened to be at the scene at the time, a man by the name of Matthew Riley, who was Emily's former coworker, who was recently fired for harassment. The match was very strong. So were the fibers, found to be nylon blend, commonly used in older car upholstery, specifically a 2007 Toyota Corolla that Matthew just so happens to own. Each piece of trace evidence was handled with care. There were tweezers, gloves, paper evidence bags, and a chain of custody lock to avoid cross-contamination. The chain of custody was tightly maintained. A single break in that process and the whole case could collapse. Now for the physical evidence. The physical evidence told the rest of the story. A bruise was found on Emily's arm, and her missing ring was discovered a few feet away near the stairs. On this ring, there was a partial fingerprint. Enhancing the ridge detail revealed a match, and it matched exactly to Riley. The primary crime scene was the back porch. Secondary crime scenes include the garage where the door was left open and the bushes around the area, which had possible drag marks. In the driveway, there was a boot print left. Investigators lifted this boot print with tape, and when we found that boot recovered from Riley's apartment. It matched the tape impression precisely, right down to the worn tread and a small nick in the heel. And then the most damning piece of evidence, a cigarette found in the bushes, its filter stained with saliva. DNA testing revealed a single source match, Matthew Riley. It was a brand neither Emily nor her roommate smoked. Together, these items painted a timeline. Riley had been on that porch. Emily had fought. Something had gone terribly wrong. Emily Grant was positively identified by her fingerprints, cross-checked with prints from her student ID card and DMV records. Her dental records were used as a secondary confirmation by the medical examiner. The autopsy revealed no signs of sexual assault, but clear signs of strangulation, bruising on the neck, hemorrhage in the eyes, and a broken jawbone. Defensive wounds marked her forearms. Her time of death was estimated between 9 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Matthew Riley, already on file for past charges of harassment, was brought into the police for questioning. He claimed he hadn't seen Emily in days, but his cell phone pinged off a nearby tower at 9:12 p.m. His car was spotted on the neighbor's doorbell Ring camera, and the fingerprint, hair, fiber, and DNA evidence tied him directly to the scene. Determining the time of death involved a combination of forensic methods. Rigor mortis was fully developed in the upper limbs, but not the lower, placing the death within 10 to 12 hours of us finding the body. Algor mortis, the body temperature raised to 77, an ambient temperature of 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Her time of death was placed around 9:30 p.m. Forensic entomology offered even more precision. Blowfly eggs were found in the nostrils and ears. Under a microscope, the larva's development matched roughly 18 hours of growth. Soil compression studies also showed signs of recent pressure where the struggle occurred, matching the timeline and the boot print. Even the crushed plants by the steps gave clues.